How's it going, YouTube? It's been a while, but I figured it might be time to stop being a slacker, make some more content again. Digimon is going really well for me. You guys might have seen me in the Digi Showdown, which was awesome. I'll be going to the Digifest tournament in Texas, and then I'll be commentating the Digifest in Miami. So that's pretty exciting. In today's video, we're taking a look at a Leopardmon deck that I've come up with, namely because the new BT7 Blue Baby Bukamon is fantastic, and there's some spicy stuff you can do with it. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know if you guys want to see more content like this. Thanks for watching. So every new set has a new baby of every color, and the BT7 Blue Egg is actually a fantastic card. Bukamon is very powerful. When you play a Digimon from one of your stacks, you're going to gain more memory. This works even if you summon from a stack that is not Bukamon, meaning that if you have two and use an effect to summon a Digimon from the source, you gain 2 memory. Really strong. So the main deck is to really utilize Bukamon as much as possible. That's why I only run it as a 4-off. Now for the level 6s, this is a Leopardmon deck, at least that's what the title says. But we actually only play a 2-off Leopardmon. Our other level 6 is actually Metal. Both of these guys are really good because they can summon Digimon from their sources. And I figured we start with level 6s so you can understand as we go through the other levels. Metal is a fantastic card. If you guys haven't picked up the altar, I recommend you do it. He gets even better in BT8. And we still have the classic Metal Swing, Summon Garurumon, Restand, Swing again, because Metal is not one per turn. As you can see with the Bukamon, you're going to be gaining memory as soon as you summon something. So it's pretty sick. Metal is our go-to for sure. But then Leopardmon is also a fantastic Digimon. He's a lot better now because Leopardmon used to be 4, but with the Bukamon, you're essentially going to him for 3. And he gives jamming to all your level 4 or lower Digimon, which is pretty good as well. Now, there's a lot of decks going around that are playing something like this. They're playing like King Waymon and Waymon. And while those guys are okay, I just feel like Metal is just better than all of them. And for the secondary Digimon, I just like Leopardmon better. I don't want to play King Waymon. I don't think it's that great. And Waymon himself has a higher ceiling because you can do some crazy combos. But overall, I think my level 5s, they just do a lot more for me. So let's go to the rookies. My premier best rookie we have is actually Beamon from EX Collection. So when you unsuspend during the main phase, you gain 1 memory. As you're going to see, the deck has a variety of ways you can restand. And when you combine this memory gain with the Bukamon, we can actually extend our plays and do all sorts of cool things. One thing I want to say is that, you know, I've played a lot of Gabu Trive, and I still have the Metal and the Restand Garurumon. But because we don't have to play any of the other Gabu Tribe or Synergy, we're free to play just a bunch of like generically good blue cards, such as the Beamon. We also have the BT7 Gomamon. Gomamon is great because if you summon him from a source, you're gonna draw 2. So it's just good card draw. Originally I had it at 4, but after playing around, Beamon is the star of the show, so I won Beamon most of the time. However, being able to get, you know, like summon a body and get draw 2, really good. So Gomamon is a pretty solid Digimon. Now my other rookies are just the annoying guys. So we have 3 Watermelons. Madoki Betamon is the memory stopper for the deck. Again, you can get your rookies for free, and sometimes you just want to, you know, have Madoki Betamon make your opponent's life pretty awkward. And in that same note, we also play 2 of the Clams. So the Clam can stop those annoying 1-cost ultimates like Jet Sylphimon and so on. And I'll talk about the side deck later on, but I have more of this in the side deck. So depending on what matchup you're playing against, if you need more Madoki Betamons, you can play more. If you need more Clams, you play more. So we have, you know, our utility rookies that give us card draw and memory, and then the rookies are just annoying for our opponent. For the champions, I play 4 of the Restand Garurumon. This is really the main Digimon that you want to be summoning off of Metal and Leopardmon, because getting the Restand is super powerful. And again, we have a lot of Restand with the Garuru. That's how you're going to proc the Beamon, get that extra memory, plus more memory of the Bukamon. So keep those combos in mind. So, you know, he's pretty good. You can also hard play him for 6, which is not ideal. But because the Restand will give you memory, it could actually end up being 5 or even 4. Now, the rest of my champions are just a bunch of utility. This is the only one that I wouldn't change. Everything else, you know, definitely mess around with the ratios, see what you like. So we have 2 Coelamons, blocker, cheap Evo. We can, you know, cheaply Evo into our Mega and then bring out blocker if we needed. Grizzly, just more blockers. Grizzly, Koala, both good. I like them both. We played 2 Kumamon because, I mean, everybody has access to hybrids, so you should be playing hybrids. He's great at finishing the game. And then I played 2 Cordramon. Cordramon can get someone of security, which is nice. But if he gets played from the Metal or the Leopardmon, you're going to get your champion, and like the Gomamon, you get that additional card draw, which is just very nice. But mess with your ratio, see what you like. 4 Garurumon's the way to go for sure. Now, my level 5s, I'm absolutely in love with. I tried a bunch of them, but these are the ones that I like the most. So we have 4 of the new Garurumon. So if you guys don't know what he does, he costs 7. But when you play him, if you don't have a blue tamer, you could play a blue tamer. And if you have a blue tamer, you get 2 memory. He also has the same inheritable as the Beamon, which is when you restand, you gain 1 memory that turn. So you can already see the combos we have, right? If you have a chain that has the Garurumon and the EX1 Beamon and a Bukamon with a metal, what happens is, let's say you're at 3, right? You go into metal, you go to 0, metal swings, summon Garurumon, you get 1 memory of the Bukamon, then you restand, gaining 1 memory of the Beamon, 1 memory of the Were, and just like that, we got 3 memory for free. So that's just some of the combos we could do. And there's other cool plays which I'll get to later on with Were, but he's pretty sweet. The other level 5 is Leopardmon. Now I play Leopardmon for 2 reasons. Main one is that if you've ever played with metal, you know that he swings at 11 and he's going to die. 11k, it's not good enough, it's going to die in security. So the Leopardmon, when you restand the metal, is going to give him jamming. And sure, he doesn't die, he can get his second swing off and you get the extra body. Pretty good effect. On top of that, the Leopardmon also has a good effect. When Digivolved, if you have a tamer, you could restand any one of your Digimons. So for example, you don't always have the Garurumon to restand off of the metal, but you can like metal swing, summon say a Koalamon, a Kumamon, a Cordramon, then Digivolve into a Leopardmon, and then still restand the metal. And depending on how many Bukamons or memory restand inheritables you have, you could still potentially continue your turn. So Leopardmon, pretty sick level 5 for both the effects. I like both of these guys a lot, and I really wouldn't change them. Now, aside from that, we play Bond of Friendship. This is just a generically good level 7 for the deck. It only costs 3 to go into. It has a very strong effect, as we all know. Even if we don't get the 3rd swing, getting 2 swings is good enough. And he naturally has restand synergy, which is fantastic with the Were and the Beamon. So if you did the play I was talking about with the metal before, for example, you can restand the metal, be at 3 memory, go into the Bond of Friendship, and then still swing twice, right? Because he only costs 3 to go into. And if he ever sticks around, you potentially having like, you know, 2 swings, 2 free memory, and you're bouncing your opponents. He's just a very, very good level 7. That's it for the Digimons. We do play Tamers. So at the core, we just have 2 Davis and 1 Sorajo. Davis is the go-to blue memory tamer. He's fantastic. Not much to say about him. Sorajo, pretty solid as well. I wanted to play more than just the 2 Davis. Sorajo, pretty good card. Generically good. Sometimes you get memory. Sometimes just an extra tamer, which is nice. For the options, we have 1 Ice Wall because we're a blue deck. Ice Wall's a good card, so play Ice Wall. Here's some of the other cool options though. We have 2 Kaiser Nails. So Kaiser Nail enables some really cool combos in the deck. This is a card that works super well with the Garurumon I was showing before. So for example, after you do your metal play and you summon extra bodies, you'll have like a metal with a Were under it, right? Now if you Kaiser Nail for 4, you can bring out the Were, and then he can either gain you memory if you already have a tamer, or let you play a Davis or Shoujo for free, which is insane if you think about it, right? Like you pay 4 memory to get a level 5 and a free tamer. That's pretty good. And that's assuming that you haven't spent your Bukamons once per turn, because if you have these available, you're potentially paying that for 4 or 2, right? Which is pretty crazy to think about. Now, once you have an empty Were on the board with no inheritables, the metal is not particularly good on top of it, but that's where the Leopardmon comes into play, because Leopardmon can go over him and then summon from somebody else's stack, which is still pretty good. On top of that, Kaisenel is just generically good card. You can use Kaisenel to summon like the Garurumon and get the restand, and it still works with everything else, giving you the Gomamon draw, Quartermon draw, and so on. And of course, again, with the Bukamon, this is really not a 4-play per card. We're always playing it for less than that. Kaisenel super sick, also active in security, which is nice. You can even have like a Bond of Friendship out with a Leopardmon under it, and then Kaisenel out a Leopardmon for 4 or 3, which is not bad at all. The other options that we play are 2 Ray of Victory. This is a card that nobody's really playing, but I like it quite a bit. So it costs 5 play points. It can only bounce level 5 or lower, so you cannot bounce back level 6 or 7s. But honestly, that's fine. It's very memory efficient for 5. But it also has an additional effect, which is that if you have Blue Tamer, which we should have, you could restand any one of your Digimon. And again, since we play the Wear and the EXBmon, that means that potentially you could be swinging, paying Rare Victory for 5, but getting memory back from the Wear or the Bmon, making this potentially a 4 or 3 cost to play card, which is very good, especially when you're going for game, because you can like bounce a blocker, get an extra swing, or you know, if you restand the metal, that's another swing, another body you get out. You could restand Bond of Friendship, get an extra bounce as well. So Ray of Victory, pretty sweet card, especially because we can, you know, cheat out its play cost. And then to round it out, we have 2 memory boosts. So I play 1 regular blue memory boost and then 1 Howlin'. They're both pretty good. They both do different things, but you know, they're similar cards. You spend a little bit of memory to get either searches or disrupt your opponent, and then later on it gives you memory. You can see that my list does not have Hammer Sparks, but that's because, you know, we have the Pokémon, we have the other inheritables, so you're naturally getting free memory left and right. I don't think you actually need Hammer Spark. So that's it for the main list. It's a pretty sweet deck with a lot of sweet combos. If it sounds cool to you, definitely try it out. Metal, Leopardmon, super cool, and the Pokémon is just a fantastic card. Now I'm briefly gonna go over the side deck. I will say that I've played this deck a lot, but I've not actually tested out the side deck. So the side deck is more of an idea, a concept, but I'm just thinking here's kind of what we would run. So we have more Madoki Betamons, more Sayakumons, so that you could side them in accordingly in the matchups that it would be relevant. I would side in Kakaido's Breath because there's matchups like, say, Jesmon, where Ray of Victory is not good enough and you need Kakaidos to save you from dying to Jesmons or things like that, for example. A card that I would 100% side no matter what is Forbidden Trident. This card is really good because our deck can sometimes struggle dealing with the memory stoppers, Gaslimon, Chumon, and so on. And this is really good. It gives your Metal or Leopard extra DP. Can allow you to bounce this annoying Digimon so you can get your memory. And it's not once per turn. So if you put this on a Metal, swing, bounce their Chumon, restand, get your memory back, swing again, you can bounce another rookie. Pretty solid card for 1 memory. I would definitely side that. I would side another Sora Joe in case you're going up against a deck that has inheritables you need to get rid of, think like Machine Ramon or things like that. Might come in handy in some matchups. And I think you could do this, I'm not sure, but I would side an Upamon because I only play 4 Bukamons, but generally I like playing 5X. So if you had a matchup where you know you're gonna need all 5X, you could side it in, which is nice. And then I have Avenged Kidmon because I just think it's a funny card. But really this could be hate against anything specific you're trying to deal with. Like if people play Musketeers at your locals or people play something else, you know, there's room to work with in the side deck. But yeah, that's it. That's the Leopardmon, or really Pokémon, BT7 deck list. Pretty fun. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.